thank you for watching. This is a special edition of News Echo, where we say Nigerians decide. You will give you facts, information, analysis, but at the end of the day, it is left for Nigerians to decide what kind of thing they want. And I'm so glad you are watching. Let me just say kudos to our brother in Milan, who is anchoring this program. So this program is being anchored from Italy, and I'm so proud of him for being able to anchor it. And then, like you know, this is a News Echo championing Nigerians decide, because at the end of the day, Nigerians will decide for themselves. Of course, we have our host, Mark Godwin, on the program. Mark, you are welcome to this program.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Segun. We're happy that you're always there to do what you do.
And also we have...
thank you.
We have our in-house researcher, Nat Iyakwo. Ambassador Nat, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody.
You are welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Of course, the last but not the least is our man here, Gosin Azu. Gosin, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Doc. Good morning, and great to see you guys again, and look forward to a wonderful discussion this morning. And morning, viewers.
Okay, let's talk about Olympics then. Gentlemen, we are having finally Tokyo 2020, and it appears that Great Britain is doing very well. 4 or 5 gold by now. I know 2 days ago there were 3 gold in the bag, and then it went to 4th, and I think the 5th one has come in, and in all 13 medals. Of course, we're still holding to the 5th position after China, USA, Japan, and Russia. So we hold the 5th position, and Britain is not doing badly. They're very happy, especially after the World Cup saga. That's something cheerful that we all can take home. But it's not looking the same thing in Nigeria. Nat, what can you do to update us on this Tokyo 2020 finally?
Well, 2020 Olympics in Tokyo, Japan has taken off, but on a very, very shaky ground. Even some medals have been won, but we are not too sure how this particular Olympic, which is a Olympic like no other Olympic, we are not sure how it is going to end, because the game is still under very, very serious threat. Every day there are cases of athletes testing positive to COVID-19, and once you are tested positive, you just have to start going home. And so this is the challenge the game is facing. And then there was this typhoon in Tokyo itself, coming very close to the Olympic Village. So it's like we have to fast and pray to ensure that nothing unnatural or even natural stops this game from coming to an end. In the case of Nigeria, other countries, other serious and responsible countries started preparing for the Olympics when the last one ended. But we just started our own yesterday and took off to Japan, Tokyo. So it's, as usual, it's more like a jamboree. We shouldn't expect any medal from this Olympic, because we see already our medal hopefuls have are not even able to make it be right from the start. Most of them cannot continue with their events because they have been defeated one way or the other.
And we don't have boxing there.
What do you say?
Or do we have boxing at all? I understand that Nigeria did not feature any boxing team.
No. We cannot feature what is his name now? Joshua. Joshua is British.
No, we cannot feature. No, but Joshua is professional. You cannot. It's only amateurs they allow. So even Joshua cannot fight there anymore.
Okay.
Anyway, as who was the impression of the Olympics of Tokyo 2020?
Well, I think Tokyo 2020 has just shown the determination of the world moving on and taking responsibilities and ensuring that global sporting activities is not absolutely hindered completely by COVID situation. We all know the level at which the COVID reactions has been rampaging across the globe again. After it was almost seen as something that has been well submerged by some of the key developed nations, including the big countries in East and South Asia. But then suddenly it re-emerged again with a different mutation called the Delta variant. And obviously the Tokyo 2020 was supposed to have been held last year, but last year was the peak period of the COVID, and countries were not ready to take the risk. But one thing here is the fact that history has to be sustained. The Olympics, I am not too sure. I've tried to look around to find out if at any point where the Olympic was completely missed for a period in this last century. I'm not too sure if it was missed during the First World War or Second World War. Both wars lasted for about 4 or 5 years or so. I feel that there is need to give assurance and reassurance to young men and women who have been trying and training and practicing for the last 4 or 5 years to be able to give themselves some honor of the effort they put in training. With regards to the momentum is very low, but still very encouraging. Most of the athletes are very, very promising. They've been very competitive. One thing I've seen in most of the athletes' expression is the determination to go home with something. They don't want the whole 5 years to be completely lost in their career, in their professional athletic pursuit. And so, because the next Olympic is in 2024, and that will be almost 10 years lost for various athletic practices and training, and this is highly encouraging for some of the athletes. It's been a very crowd-free Olympic. There is no spectators in many places, but then the athletes are still highly encouraged and determined to make the Olympic a memorable one. It will be a memorable one.
You mean the spectators are not seated in the stadium?
They are not. There are no. This is a non-spectator Olympic, first in history. But there are some spectators. Well, when you look at the cycling and rolling competition, because it's an open space, there are some spectators on the roadsides cheering up some of the athletes, but not absolutely like a full required spectator. But the one thing here is that the Tokyo 2020 will remain in the mind of many people in many years to come as one competitive world sport a festival that has taken the world on a storm, and then behold, the world have decided to stand to the challenge and to face the reality. And that is what is obviously happening. They are telling COVID, we know you are here, but then you cannot stop life going on. You cannot stop life being functional. And
okay,
that is one thing that happening.
Can you hear me, Godson?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Godson. How about in Europe, Mark? How has Europe been doing in this Tokyo 2020?
Yes, Europe has been doing very well, Dr. Segun. The Tokyo 2020 is obviously going on. We never knew it would happen, but it's happening. But there are some surprises that are also going on with it. Some of the expected athletes that we thought will come out on top are losing out. 3 days ago, we had the Naomi Osaka falling out from the long tennis. And just yesterday, the eyes of everybody on gymnastic, that's our own Simona Bale, the Black American girl, she also bowed out. So some very unusual expectation. A lot of people are, those that we thought will make good performance are going out.
What was that? What was the problem of that young lady?
Yes, and they are all saying it's...
Mark, do you know the problem of the young lady?
Yes, she said it's a mental thing.
African-American who bowed out on medical grounds, we were told.
Yes, sir.
What went on?
She said it's a medical, that her mental health needs to be... that she has some mental health problem. So she needs to take a rest and recuperate again. So, but that has been the excuse of many of them this time. Naomi also said similar thing last time she went out of the French Open, and they are all complaining of too much pressure from the press, too much pressure from people. So it makes them to be, they are not very balanced to give their best again because the pressure is so high. So Simona Bale left.
Made them to be nervous.
Nervous, that's the word. Nervous, correct. So that is it. For Europe, a lot of games are going on today. Italy will be playing. I think Italy will be playing with Australia in the men's basketball Group B, and France is also coming on top with some performance. Spain and the rest of Europe, everybody's doing their best, but unusual surprises.
I understand Nigeria is already beaten.
Yes. Nigeria has been taken out. Our hope on some of the games,
Nigeria is already beaten in basketball, isn't it?
That's correct. Yes. And
all right, let's move on. Let's move on to what is happening in London. We are told that British citizens that have traveled abroad to United States or Europe can now come in without quarantining because they've taken 2 jabs. That's what we were told this morning. So double jab will make you not quarantine if you are returning from any AMB country. Nat, is there any other thing we need to know?
Well, that's a relief, especially for holiday makers, or those who have traveled for one thing or the other outside the UK. They cannot come in and go straight to their houses, but the other challenge that we are facing with UK, the floods are still there. They have not quickly gone away as they came.
Well, Azu, does that make people feel better? No going to be quarantined, then there will be more businesses in the hospitality sector. Is that a good way to open up the gate?
Yeah, well, doctor, I believe that, like I said, the Olympic is giving a headway uh, in the challenge against COVID pandemic, and the intergovernmental policy directions in terms of social mobility and economic opening. And UK obviously is looking at the differences between the United Kingdom and Europe and the rest of the world. And according to the Prime Minister, he is highly concerned about the pace at which Europe is moving and making more greater progress with regards to facing the challenges of COVID and economic recovery. And he felt that there is need for UK to be very, very responsible in the way they react to these dynamics. And as such, he has no choice but to convince and plead with the rest of the country and for the expansion of this opening up in terms of reducing the level at which the kind of stake countries that can enter the UK and or leave UK to other countries in terms of tourist people. And this comes to the terms that UK depends so much on tourism also. Likewise, they are also one of the highly tourist nation too that visit most of the European countries. And if they don't do something about it, the airlines, especially BA, Virgin, and the rest of them are going to be running behind the rest of the other airlines across Europe and the United States. And so the best way, and like I have always said, is the introduction of the vaccine passport. The vaccine passport will determine what happens.
I think the airlines will be happy now. Does that make you happy in Europe, Mark? The decision of Boris Johnson, is that making you happy in Europe because more money will come your way now?
Yes, it makes us very happy. Hearing that news yesterday was, yes, sir. It's a pleasant news. Can you hear me? It makes us.
Will this have an effect on the European economy when Boris has opened the door?
Oh, yes, it will. Most part of Europe depend on tourism, and one major contributor to the tourism in Europe are the English people. The English people, last time the figure says 13 million English people coming to Europe for tourism.
Okay.
During this time. Yeah, so.
Okay, we're here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Doc, you're having a delay. Right. Doc, you're having a delay.
Does it mean that we British citizens can come to Italy and we will not quarantine for a while?
Yes, they are trying to with the passports and some other restrictions are not very hard.
I'm just thinking.
Doc, I think it's your network that needs to. Are you in a very good network zone? I think we need to. Can you?
Yes, I'm in a good network.
Because every other person is.
Or can I reboot?
Yes, maybe, sir.
Do you want me to reboot?
Okay, reboot. Let me pause the video so you reboot. Every other person is clear.
Okay, let me. Okay, that's good to know. Let me reboot then. Let me just reboot.
Yes. So leave and come back again.
You can use this for a break shot and then come back after it.
Okay, then we use this for a break chat. Thank you. We use this for a break chat.
Am I okay now?
Okay, are you back? Let me see you come back. Sure. Come back again.
People. Welcome to Massive Mac Bracket.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Segun. We can see you clearly now.
Welcome back from that break. Is everybody hearing me now?
Yes.
Better.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Very good.
Okay. So we take that as a break.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Nat, may I have your voice, please?
Okay. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Clearly. All right.
Okay.
Now we
Okay.
take that as a break. Let's go to our next topic. Nat, we understand that President Buhari is in London for education summit. Please, what's this summit about and what is Buhari doing there? Or shall we just say he has come for his medical checkup?
Well, honestly speaking, I think the education summit is more of a cover up for the medical checkup. The most important thing, as far as I'm concerned, is the medical checkup. Though we are told the medical checkup is coming at the end of the education summit. But let's take the issue of education summit, which has other presidents attending. I think the Uhuru Kenyatta is attending. The president of Malawi is attending, and a few other. I don't know whether South Africa and Rwanda will be here. But as far as we know, Buhari is already in London. He arrived in here yesterday in the night, which is not the usual thing. And we will recollect that 2014, when the Chibok girls, the 200 plus Chibok girls, were abducted from their school in Chibok, the hashtag bring back our girls, hashtag bring back our girls gained a prominency in world news, starting from Michelle Obama, David Cameron, who was prime minister then, and all over the world. That issue was taken seriously, even the United Nations. And so they set up what was called then Safe Schools Initiative to protect our schools from the kidnappers. And so we're talking of 2014, I think almost $2 billion was set aside for that project. But from the Nigeria end, we are not too sure anything happened until the kidnapping continued, even as we speak. And so Gordon Brown was a special envoy for this Save Our Schools initiative. And now we are in 2021, and another summit is coming up, though they are not calling it Safe Schools Summit. They are calling it a summit that we want to mobilize $5 billion for education in Africa. And I'm sure you cannot talk of education in Africa today without mentioning the insecurity. Our school children, our people's school children are being kidnapped every day, abducted every day. There's always the news now. And so Buhari is coming in. He's here already in London to discuss with the Prime Minister of UK and other world leaders how they are going to mobilize $5 billion for education. But interestingly enough, we don't know how much, what really the level of understanding, the level of knowledge of education in the 21st century. We don't know what Buhari knows. And the Minister of Education in Nigeria, who should be a frontline person in this meeting, doesn't seem to be anywhere near London. He's not even the team. We will have been informed. We know those in the team are just Buhari himself, Femi Adesina is their spokesperson, and that's all we know about Nigeria. So it's like it's going to be another medical tourism for the president, and we may not even hear anything again after the meeting.
Oh, okay. Azu, do you think people will be protesting against Buhari in London? I mean, where he's staying is not made known to anybody. And now the Odua nation, they're not happy about him. The IPOP people are not happy. So don't you think he will be facing a load of protests during this stay?
Well, I think he's going to be facing. I think he's going to be facing loads of protests. Already, there are protests going on since yesterday. Before yesterday, there have been protests across major places in central London. People have been protesting in front of the Commonwealth Secretariat in London. People have been protesting in front of Downing Street in London. People have been protesting in Trafalgar Square. People have been protesting in front of the High Commission. As at yesterday evening, people were hanging around Abuja House in South Kensington, the normal residential home of the High Commissioner and the President whenever he is in town, if he doesn't want to stay at one of the hotel reservations that is mostly used by presidents of Nigerians in the UK. Probably he will be in one of those presidential hotels that reserved for the president if they don't want to stay in Abuja House. So obviously he's somewhere between those two corners. But as of yesterday evening, people were in front of Abuja House trying to find out his appearance and then cause commotions. But one important thing here is that just like Ambassador Nat have said, the Global Education Summit is a global summit for almost all the countries of the world, and most especially the developing countries around the world. And that's why it's called global, where they're expecting about close to about 90 head of states and presidents to participate physically or virtually, but this is actually a virtual program put together. But then some presidents have decided to come into the country for one reason or the other, to facilitate other engagements in London while holding the virtual summit in London. I know the Malawian president gave an excuse that because of internet fluctuations, unstable internet in Malawi, it is not for him.
He said he's attending the summit in London virtually.
Virtually because of the internet challenges in Malawi. He has an excuse. It may be valid.
Yes.
Some of these people may see it as a valid excuse based on the challenges in Malawi. But our president, I don't know, because he will not have an excuse to give, because probably he won't want to say there is no enough internet in Nigeria to do virtual meeting of that nature. And I believe he's come here for other things. I think there's a meeting. He's going to have a meeting with Boris Johnson, and that meeting is going to is going to be focused on the IPOB Nnamdi Kanu crisis and the challenges the British government is trying to overcome with that matter. I believe that's one of the key things that are going to be discussed on a closed door on that matter. And obviously, like Nat said, I don't know, because I have the program. I am attending the meeting virtually. I registered to attend the meeting virtually. They've sent me the program of the meeting. We start about 2 o'clock today, and I didn't see any Nigerian ministers' itinerary on the program for the 2 days event. But then you find out, obviously, the event is being co-hosted. The event is being co-hosted or managed by Boris Johnson and Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya. It's a UK-Kenya co-hosted event. But then you find out that there are few ministers from Kenya on the itinerary, on the program, and few ministers from I think Malawi, and few ministers from I think Uganda or so. So there are a few ministers here and there that are going to be speaking on key issues concerning the educational challenges in their country and the issues of girl child.
And the Nigerian minister is not there.
There's no Nigerian
minister is not there.
The Nigerian minister is not there. I'm not sure there is even the special advisor on education for the president there to advise him on what to say or how to say what he needs to say with regards to any questions or contribution he has to make. Probably he will just sit down there, watch everybody, and be asking for money. Out of the 5 billion, maybe asking for 2 billion for Nigeria, and that's the only thing he may want to be contributing in that meeting. Obviously, we'll watch out and see. This is a very important summit. There's a huge challenge everywhere around the world with regards to education, especially in Africa, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh,
and Nigeria in particular. Many of the northern Nigerian children are not in school.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I was watching Femi Adesina yesterday on an interview on Channels Politics, and they were saying that there are so many. There's been a huge number of out-of-school children in Nigeria in the last 5-6 years, and his answer was that no, that there's been an improvement in the children in school in Nigeria. And I was just thinking in my head, does this man think that we are all like the 600 and something Nigerian lawyers, or do I say lawyers or law students that went to the Nigerian bar exam and failed to qualify as barristers, and so we don't have any wisdom to know the fact and the abstracts of events, because he cannot tell Nigerians that in about 6 states in the north where virtually there are no schools functioning properly, and close to over 100+ thousands of children
not functioning at all. They're not functioning at all.
Not functioning. In about 6 states in the north,
they are closed down because of abduction.
Schools are completely shut down. not only primary, secondary, both higher institutions are completely shut down. And then this guy is on TV station telling Nigerians and telling the world that there are many people back in schools in Nigeria. And I'm wondering, like, which Nigeria is he talking about? Is it Niger Republic or Nigeria, or is he talking about another virtual Nigeria? And so the important thing here is that they have an opportunity to present a case to the whole world about what is going on in Nigeria, and the deficiency, the deficit of educational output in Nigeria, and due to the insecurity situations, and the output of educational personnel or trainers in Nigeria is very low. It's very low. I was absolutely stunned when I was watching the first batch of the Nigerian bar exam, or whatever they call it, the MBA. Is it MBA or what?
The bar exam,
in law school. About 1,000+ people sat for the exam, and only 883 were able to make it through. 600 and something couldn't pass the exam. And I was asking somebody this morning, does it mean that the university chalked out those people out of the school without even knowing that they are good enough to go to the law school? Because if you're not good enough, I don't think the university should have chalked out people like that and send them to law school to go and fail and disgrace the school that they came out from. And so,
well, you see, many things are wrong. I'm glad you raised it. Many things are wrong. When the cutoff mark from JAMB in some areas from the south will be 200+, cutoff for some students from the north will be something like 22. So that makes the that's the problem when you find that some will not be able to make it at the law school. Let me ask Ahmed in Milan, Mark. Is it the education summit that Buhari has come for, or he has come for his medical checkup, or somebody is trying to cover it up? Because how can you come for education summit? You did not bring your Minister of Education. Secondly, how much has he spent of the Nigerian money to look after himself and his family? And the rest of Nigerians are languishing in medical jeopardy in Nigeria.
Great issues to look into, Doc. These are real sober reflecting moments. First of all, advisors to our president are not helping issues. This event, like you've just said, is a hybrid event. And when the Europeans arrange hybrid, they do it so well. So even the other president I was complaining of, his network might not peak, is all pretense, is all a lie. For Buhari, President Buhari, the main focus is not that meeting, is his health. And remember, he was, a month ago, he was to come to the UK for this same medical checkup. But because of some other issues that was prevailing then, mainly because of Nnamdi Kanu that was being abducted from a so-called place, he refrained from going on that medical checkup. So this is the time to come for it. And he doesn't care about any other thing but to check his health. He's using the opportunity of this event to keep himself well. Well, it is important that he stays in good health, but there are issues that are more prominent than this. If this could have been a hybrid event. We also know that when the president moves like this, so much is spent on travel allowance and every other thing. So when you look at it, medical bills, travel allowance, and the entourage.
Escorts, left, right, and center, air pilot, and hostess, and all of this.
Can you imagine, Doc? So the advisors are not helping him. Whoever is making him do some of these clueless their behavior, we don't know, but they are not helping out. It's a shame also. We talk of medicals, and every time our president runs out for medical checkup, when the facilities in Nigeria could be improved on, medical facilities could be worked on, but they don't seem to look into all this. All they do is when they have any issue, they run away. So that is it, Doc. There's so much to ponder at occasions like this, but at the end of it, our man doesn't even listen. The president is not even listening to the people's cry or the people's complaint. When he's bent on doing something, he does it. So we welcome him to the UK. As of yesterday, they said he's not at the normal residence where Nigerian government is. So we wonder where he is. And this is all because he doesn't want people to come and protest in front of his house. Thank you, Doctor.
All right, let's talking about protest. Nat, you saw what happened in Cotonou when Igboho was taken there. All the Yoruba protesters were taken away. What's happening in Cotonou right now to Igboho? Can you bring us up to date, please?
Well, this will be the third day now since the Court of Appeal in Benin, Benin Republic, Cotonou, Sunday Igboho, and it looks like the Benin courts they had complained on Monday that the number of Nigerians that were around the premises was intimidating the judges, and they didn't want to be embarrassed or harassed, and so cameras were not even allowed into the court. The people who had come, who came in from Nigeria, were not allowed to the court. They were outside the court premises. But even that, the police, the Beninois police, kept harassing the people. Is this a clip?
No. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. So but it looks like from all indication, Igboho is gaining some ground from the Beninois, the Benin Republic court officials, because we are aware that the wife's passport has been returned to her. They don't have any case against her, and Nigeria is yet to file whatsoever offenses they think Sunday Igboho has committed. He also now has, I think he now has some limited freedom. He's no longer kept with the police in their detention room. He's been allowed his medical and legal team to see him, which they didn't allow in the first 2 or 3 days. So the case continues. The case continues.
Okay.
Welcome back to We Decide, Nigerians Decide, and this is anchored all the way from Italy by our man in Milan, Mark. Mark, thank you very much. We were just discussing the problems of Buhari, Igboho, and Nnamdi Kanu. Godson, we saw the IPOB members demonstrating in front of the BBC. I think that was yesterday. Studio, can we please have a look at that demonstration before we go and ask Azu how will all this pan out and what has been happening to Kanu? Let's look at that video.
This is live from the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. These are our women loss of their 11 children, grieving for the loss of 5.5 million Biafrans that were slaughtered by the British government in co-op with the Nigerian terrorist government. British government is terrorist organization. BBC terrorist. Boris Johnson terrorist. BBC terrorist. Boris Johnson terrorist. Britain terrorist. Terrorist organization place. Killing people in cold blood. Live in BBC to report and to tell them our anger and our grief of all losses, of all the subjugation and the enslavement they have put us in. We are tired. We are tired. It's a scam. 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 Terrorists. Terrorists. Boris Johnson. Terrorists. 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 Terrorists.
Wow. Gussin, what's your take? How well do you take their language? Do you think their language has matched their message? Gussin.
Doc, I think this is one area that I think people are kind of missing the reality of engagement, missing the reality of proactive, positive, constructive engagement. When you are protesting, it's a right to protest. It's a right, it's a human right. Every human has the right to protest or to demonstrate their feelings. But then the language of communication must be a language that has a very clear and legitimate expression that is not counterproductive, is not implicative in the way you express your feelings and concerns about your positions or your belief of domination or subjugation or subjection of rule. One thing I want to make clear here is Nnamdi Kanu is in the situation he is now because of the languages and the way he expressed himself concerning the position of the Igbo nation, which he pretends to be struggling for by using media instruments to project his feelings. And some of these feelings are projected in the spirit of hatred. And in that spirit, without a very constructive direction of argument, you find yourself in a fix. And that fix is where he has found himself. And unfortunately, we still have same people. And what I want to say is that the government will be watching closely, because this is how indoctrination of many people in the Islamophobia, Islamic fundamentalism started, when gradually individuals become indoctrinated in the spirit of secessionists with negative beliefs and ideas, and then they start going from these levels of hatred to the highest levels of hatred, which leads to a point where people now start looking to harm each other, cause a very fatal incidents among the community or within the communities they are. And this is coming up here now, because I wouldn't know the reason why you can see people carrying a flag that demonstrates Biafra, a flag that demonstrates the Jewish people, and then I don't know the relationship between the Biafran flag and the Jewish flag at a protest of a secessionist agenda. And secondly, you cannot live in a host country and you are not claiming to be Nigeria. You are not claiming, you are not an officially recognized state, nation state of Biafra, and then the host country that is harboring you for now and giving you hope for tomorrow and the future, you are labeling such host country a terrorist, you're calling the prime minister a terrorist, you're calling the country terrorist country, and then you still want to live in that country, and you still want that country to help you. You still want that country to support you. You still want that country to be your helper in time of need, as such as this. Well, I don't know. The message you send sometimes conflicts the interest that one is projecting. And when that happens, the people you are asking for their help begin to wonder, what is actually your problem? What do you really need? What are you requesting for? Because you cannot demand a prime minister that you are calling a terrorist to go and fight on your behalf or propagate a good interest, propagate the cause of your interest on your behalf to the nations that you are against. It's rather unfortunate. And this is the same thing with Sunday Igboho in Cotonou. You understand? Now the Cotonou, the Benin Republic government is now charging him for illegal entry into Benin Republic. Because now they are saying, how did you come into Benin Republic? If you do not have a bridge, you don't have a Nigerian passport, you do not have a Benin Republic passport, you do not have any international passport, how were you able to enter Benin Republic? Now he is obviously implicating so many people who may have, on a goodwill, try to help him to enter into Benin Republic. And secondly, you enter into Benin Republic illegally, you went and started looking for how to manufacture a Benin Republic passport to be used to travel to Germany. You see, when people are doing things certain times, they have to be careful because you don't know where you don't know how this whole thing leads you to. You cannot, I know, you see, when I said to people, I'm an Igbo person. I believe that there is need. There is a common sense need for the Igbos to agitate for an Igbo nation, for a Biafran nation, as they call it. But then I keep saying, Biafra as an entity stretches beyond Igbo land. Biafra as a territorial entity stretches as far as Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. How are you going to accommodate what you call Biafra today if you alienate others and others are not willing to be part of you, and you are not willing to have constructive dialogue with others in order to create that imaginary state of Biafra that everyone is shouting? Some people are busy shouting Biafra because their spirit has been, some of them were born 20, 30, 40, 30, 35 years ago. They don't know the actual history of Biafra in totality. And they don't know the fact and the truth about Biafra. Because the story and the narrative of Biafra have come in diverse ways. And it depends on your mind of reconciliation to be able to know which of the narratives and stories really make sense for the need to drive the agenda of Biafra. Also the same thing with Oduduwa. Also,
yes, you made a very good point, and I really want to hear Mark on this one. I took time to listen to you, and you were saying some fundamental issues that I agree with many, but of course, others may disagree with you. But Mark, I think Nnamdi Kanu has, through his method, message, and language, have created more enemies than friends. For his supporters to be calling Boris Johnson, Britain, and BBC terrorists. I don't see how that will help them, or how do you see it?
Segun, for once again, I wish I could see my brother and friend Segun Mazi Azu and hug him. For once, Mazi has said all that I need to say also. I mean, he has said it all. Well, it's obvious that every day the Biafran followers and Mazi, every new day makes their whole agitation look very, very, let me not use the word foolish, you know, but that's more like the word. Foolishness is not, it's not
You are
abusive.
being diplomatic now.
Yes,
You
it's
don't
not.
want to use it, but that's more like the word. Okay.
Yeah, yes, I'm not being abusive, but I'm being, it's factual, because most times the Bible even calls some people a foolish man. Now, Mazi has said it all. It's just so, everything is just so confusing. They are just a bunch of confused people. I'm an Igbo man, both parents Igbo, and we all obviously desire for a good life. It's not really about Biafran agitation. It is, we want good life. We want to live well as human beings on earth. But this whole plan and arrangement is going the wrong way. Mazi said it. The man's words, the Nnamdi Kanu's usage of words, he was not tutored. You don't start agitation, mostly on a large scale, with those words, calling the country a zoo, calling this. He uses his utterances are so negative. Now, anybody that hears that, first of all, any intelligent person that hears that would play him out and say he's not serious. You know, he made the movement look very childish and very confusing. So the usage of words were totally wrong. He didn't use the right phrases when explaining things. And now he has imbibed that conduct into his followers. They don't know how to speak. They also misinterpret issues. They scatter, they just place things anyhow. And they think that when they do this, it will bring a realization to their goal, which will never. In fact, it's making the realization to go more further from them, because a lot of people will be looking at it as these are a bunch of confused people. So it's not playing out well. Yes, we have the right to protest when life doesn't go well, but everything is just going south, like they would say. So
okay, but there is a challenge somewhere here. The Igbos believe that they have been marginalized. Ohaneze did not present their case like they want a secession. Masob did not say they want a secession. They just want restructuring. IPOP says they want self-determination. It appears that is not going to happen. But in the last 24 hours, some northerners have been saying, look, don't present us like the weaklings in Nigeria. We are formidable. We are the bread producer of Nigeria. So if they want to go, let the South go. Nat, even the governor of Bauchi said they want to take all the Fulanis in, whether they are from Futajalon or they are from Gabon. They're going to have the North. What do you say to this one? The North are beginning to say they want to go. Also, I want you to tell us the Middle Belt. They said they want to go now. They have made up. We have seen minutes of their meetings. The Middle Belt met and said they want to go. How do we read into all of this?
Well, I think the word is there's confusion. There's confusion everywhere, and it seems the subnationals, south, east, west, or north, who are speaking. Some of them really don't know the implication of what they are saying. They are not, and they are really not speaking on behalf of anybody. They are speaking on behalf of themselves and the interest they are there to protect. The whatsoever movement, is it IPOP, is it Iowa Consultative Forum, is it any movement, Biafra, IPOD and other people, should normally have what we call a think tank, a strategic working committee. Even what they are going to say outside the communique should be well constructed, should be well structured, so that people to hear, and not anything negative or counterproductive to what you are asking for. If we zero into the clip we have just watched, that language is not acceptable. Especially you are speaking a language in somebody's country, calling him such names, and even so when
and yet you want his help.
Yes. And even your president is in this country trying to beg for assistance from Boris Johnson. I don't know. And I'm sure Boris Johnson, the British intelligence will work on what they have had, and those individuals who are making such pronouncement, those information will be made known to Boris Johnson. And I don't know, he's a human being. I don't know what his feelings will be meeting with Buhari, and these are what Buhari's people are saying. When I say Buhari's people, the demonstrators there are saying. I don't know. In fact, that meeting has failed already.
If you don't mind, so we have seen in the last 24, 48 hours, the North fighting back, that actually the Southerners are the weaklings because they have businesses all over the North. They are making money in the North. They are made up of all the salaries in Nigeria. And so why are they calling them the parasites? You want to shed more light into it. Do you think the Northerners can say enough is enough? If you want separation, let's do it today with peace.
If I were, as I keep saying, so some of these individuals who are speaking on behalf of the North, they are not speaking on behalf of the North. They are speaking on behalf of themselves and the interests they are protecting. This is not the first time we've reached this point. More of, I call it a precipice. This is not the first time. There was even a time when the North was, I think, in the 50s or thereabout. They were talking of succeeding or being a country on their own. That one died down. And so the rhetorics we are hearing today, they are really not representing, let's even say, the Northwest and the Northeast and the Middle Belt. And as we all know, the Middle Belt will prefer to go with the South if there's any issue of succession, or there's any issue of separation, or any issue of restructuring. So this we've kept repeating this scenario, and it's not taking us anywhere.
Okay, thank you very much. We're about to show you. We're about to show you a video of Bethel Baptist students being released from abduction, but only about 28 of them out of 121. And we understand 50 million naira has been given to the abductees, and they refuse to release all the children.
Sunday Yakubu. Sunday Yakubu. Sunday Yakubu. I am recording now. Come on. Sunday Yakubu. Destiny Adamu. Hey, Oga. Hey. The second bus should move.
Yes, sir. I've joined class.
Okay, thank
Praise
you.
the Lord. In the first bus, parent of Mercy Joel. Mercy Joel.
Thank you. Now, you've seen how traumatic this has been, and only 28 out of 121. And is not something to write home about. I watched it and I was crying. Godson, what more can we say over all these abductions, and the government will come back to say, we did not pay any ransom. We did not pay any ransom. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, Doc, I think before I go into that, I want to reiterate on the issue of Northerners, some group of people in the North claiming that they're ready. It's
all part of it. It's all part
of
they're
it. Claiming
all the Northerners speech. It's all part of it. Go on.
There's some of this group of people, like Nat said, are virtually people who exist in their own frame of mind as Northerners. These are not representing the holistic group of people that live in the North. And moreover, we have to understand history. When people say North, we are the food basket. Who are the North that are the food basket? Are they really committing themselves to be part of that North? Obviously not. Because if you talk about those who are the food basket of the country, invariably in terms of food production and statistics, you talk about Plateau, Benue, part of Niger, Kogi, and these are not really seeing themselves as part of the core North. And I know that those who claim to be middle belt do not see themselves, are not happy and comfortable being referred as part of the North. But then politically, they tend to agree as he favors them. And then in history and traditional context, they see themselves different from what the core North thinks that they are. And so that is one area of it. And then you look at the way the insurgency in the North, especially Northwest and Northeast, is creating an unbelievable condition for the entire region. Is a theme of very important discourse everywhere in every defined space. And as such, I can't believe it, because if terrorists, I may say, I would not want to call them bandits, I call them terrorists. Terrorists and kidnappers are continuing to have free day, free movement, free agenda in these areas on a weekly and monthly basis. They've taken it as a venture. It's not a venture, an enterprise that is not registered with CAC, not registered with any government agency, in making money without paying tax. These people are making millions of naira every week or every day, and they are paying no tax on those millions. And Nigerian government is happy with it. The state government go negotiate with them, give them millions and millions of naira, and then they go away with those money without even paying a single tax on that. Let's say that this is a business, and a business that is either accepted legally or is accepted illegally.
And then they go and spend the money to buy.
There's no difference between what these people are doing and armed mercenaries and drug dealers. There's no difference between what these guys are doing now. They prefer this than going to sell drugs or smuggle drugs or sell arms or smuggle arms. This is more easy. They capture people, threaten the government of the day in the state, threaten the family will threaten the government. The government will organize some individuals to raise that money and then give it to somebody to go negotiate. That is the system in the country now. And some people are happy with it. And the government are comfortable with it. And they're doing nothing. They're doing nothing relevantly to stop this evil and unholy agenda orchestrated by same people who may be Nigerians or may not even be Nigerians.
What do you see to the government coming out to say, oh, we didn't pay any ransom. We didn't pay any ransom. And the parents at the same time we paid ransom. We paid ransom. How can government be lying?
That is an absolute disgusting situation in the country. It's like what El-Rufai would say that he doesn't want to pay ransom. So when they threatened to kidnap his children in school, he went and withdraw the children in school. But then, how are these parents able to raise 50 million, 100 million, 60 million 80 million parents that are civil servants. Most of them are civil servants, mind you. Most of them are farmers, mind you. Their income is not even steady, mind you. They don't have savings, mind you. They would have sold their houses if that comes the case, mind you. So how is the state happy with people ending in poverty just to save their children? And the state is happy with parents to go rescue their children themselves. What is the essence of the state? The state, this is the responsibility of the state to secure its citizens and its domain. And if they can't do that and the citizens are back end, securing their life, using their money to secure their children's life, selling their house to be safe, and living under the tree at the end of the day, then there is no government, then there is no society, then there is no commune, then something is wrong. Why do we have why do we have a government? Because the essence of politics is poli. When people understand what is poli is the society, the commune, the people. When there is no people, then there is no politics. When there is no politics, then there is no society. So why are we deceiving ourselves? People are just sitting down there speaking big English and big grammar, while people are dying daily, unnecessary death of innocent citizens at the expense of some good living, forsaking human beings that call themselves leaders. That is an absolute unacceptable way. I wish Boris Johnson will ask Buhari some questions. I
have a question for Mark. Thank you, Godson. I mean, I know you are very passionate about it. Mark, how can Nigerians, how could they live with these massive abductions and killings and all the leaders in the north? That's why they say the north is a weakling region. Why is it that they're killing all these children, abducting them, and there is no uproar? It's another news, and the parents will suffer and cry, and we will see it, and then it will die down. Then there will be another stealing of children. Why is it that the south is now shouting more than the north? I mean, how could any of these things happen and they still wake up and go to their work as if nothing happened? Mark, have they lost their conscience in the north?
This has been our, I said sorry for that. If you notice on the previous You Decide program, this has been our main topic. Why are people behaving as if nothing is happening and real deadly occurrences are going on there? Atrocities, gruesome atrocities. And they wake up and pretend like nothing happened. Exactly yesterday, we were watching this video you sent, and on another part of the country, Osibanjo and some other political officers were hosting an event. So you find out that things are not, people, the empathy, Nigerians have lost that soft part of humanity in them. You know, after this occurrence, they wake up as if nothing happened. Like you said, parents, people...
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, Doc. First of all, I think one thing that should be considered now is schools should be closed for now until they get, until there is an arrangement for tight security, securing the lives of pupils when they go to school. I think schools should be closed for now. No school in the north should be working now. I mean, you can't be having all this kidnap and banditry on these little innocent ones, and because in the name of going to school. What's the essence of going to school?
Okay, Mark, your suggestion is very good, that schools should close, but that tallies with the agenda of Boko Haram people. No Western education, no Western education. So schools close and then no Western education. Then you have helped Boko Haram as one, isn't it?
No, not school closed for, I mean, for a time, while officers, governors, and all those in charge, Ministry of Education, sit down to analyze and look at ways of securing schools while it's open. You know, this
But
is
they're
what
not doing it.
European,
They're not doing it. Unbelievably, they're not doing it. So who should we blame? Is it the governor, the minister of education, commissioner for education, or the president of Nigeria? Because they've not done it in the last 6 years, what you are saying, and it's not rocket science.
they should do it, doctor. There should be various selection of officers from each of these parastatals, federal, state.
I am saying somebody's head should rule. Somebody should pay for this thing. Why have they not done it? That children are dying. The bandits, they said, send us money. They did not, and they killed 5 students just to show that they're serious. So does it mean no head will roll? I mean, nothing will happen among those who are called leaders.
Can you imagine that? So my suggestion is really there should be a committee, a working committee on this school closure and school security. They can come up, if it is the Europeans, like you know, Doc, they would have come up with a strategy. You can't have this thing happening every day, and every day we still have the same situation every day. Tomorrow it will still happen. Committee should be set up, look into ways of having pupils go to school, but securing them. Or look into ways of coming up with a model, a plan. I mean, it just shows how not very intelligent they are. How can you be there? Tomorrow you still send these children to school. Tomorrow they will kidnap them. Tomorrow we will all cry. And that occurs, that it repeats itself. Like you said, for 6 years now, this is what has been happening. They will carry this bunch of children. They will carry this one. And no, they've not sat down.
Okay, last question to you before we go on break. Just last question to you before we go on break. Where is Nnamdi Kanu? Is he sick? Is he very sick? Or has he even gone to the world beyond? Because people are now speculating. The judge said, I will not try this case until I see Nnamdi Kanu. What's going on? Do you know?
Well, he's very well alive. From what we are monitoring from here, Schengen, Milan, but what probably they want to, you see, it's a mind game, and we all know Buhari is good at this game. This is his game. The president, he knows how to go about such situations. So he's calculating and looking, making sure that when it's time for that case, they nail him, they get him. So he's well, obviously.
But we don't know the kind of injection they put inside of him. Without his permission, they injected him with some toxic things that knocked him out, and that could have a long-term effect. And I think it's going to be a matter of discussion. That is one of the serious offenses that the state has committed, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes. That's very correct. So, but with the last statement of his lawyer, remember the lawyer last time, you played it here on the program. He said he's okay, even though he saw signs of harm on him, but he's okay.
All right.
It's all a plan. Go ahead.
All right, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we want to discuss the Lagos government elections, local government elections in Lagos State, where every council seat, every chairman of the local government and LCDA was won by the ruling APC. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Terry Taylor. I ran for councillorship in the just concluded local government elections.
Yes, welcome back, and we want you to watch this clip before we put our discussion on it. This is a clear example of a candidate, and listen to what she has to say. Thank you, studio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Taylor. I ran for councillorship in the just concluded local government elections for Etiosa Ward A, which is in Lekki. These elections were marred by all sorts of irregularities, voter suppression, and just, all kinds of shenanigans.
Can you see that? She doesn't know I'm following her, but she has our ballot. I'm wondering where she's taking it to.
I want to present my case so that the right officials will do the necessary things that they need to do. In Ikate, which is part of the constituency, polling units 03 to 08 were located in the Oba's Palace, which means that anybody who was not voting for the ruling party was not even allowed into that vicinity to cast their vote for candidates of their choice. People were locked out, and then the numbers that came out of that, of those locations were just not in keeping with what typically had been the case. In Igbokosu, our polling agents were not even allowed to participate. They were not even allowed near the voting area. A small band of individuals representing the ruling party hijacked the process, threatening anybody that was not conforming to what they were dictating, and just basically, made the whole thing so messy. We could not go near the voting area because there were thugs there, and nobody who was not affiliated with the ruling party was allowed into that space. In Lekki, majority of the polling units there, voting that was supposed to end at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, voting materials didn't get there till 3:15, which means that voters who had shown up at their polling units since 8 a.m. were cut out of the process. They were not allowed to vote except for the resilient few that waited, insisting that they would perform their civic duty. Ballot papers that were brought to Lekki in some polling units were meant for Iru, Victoria Island, which means that people who voted on those ballot papers, the votes were eventually made void or transferred to candidates in Iru VI.
1 or 3 or 4, all of the polling booths on this area. The ballot paper that we have is for Iru VI. Iru VI, if we vote on those, use those ballot sources to vote, it means that we're voting for the councillor and the chairman for Iru VI. This is...
Why would LASEC officials bring ballot papers for Iru VI to Lekki? I mean, how is that possible? So I want to call on LASEC. I want to call on the chairperson of LASEC, Justice Phillips. Please, madam, you need to do the needful. The Youth Party has presented evidence of all these irregularities, and we ask LASEC to cancel those elections that were held on Saturday, 24th July, and organize a rerun, a fresh elections, so that the votes of the people of Ward A Etiosa would be well represented. That elections did not express the mandate of the people of Ward A Etiosa, who would be able to break into the Oba's Palace to cast their votes, who would be able to go and fight through a wall of thugs to be able to perform their civic duty. Nigeria, if we really are in a democracy as we say we are, then we cannot sit back and allow these kind of things to continue. Please, let us cancel those elections and stage a rerun so that the people of Ward A Etiosa can express their civic duty in a free and fair process. My name is Tari Taylor, and I am still running for councillorship for Etiosa Ward A.
Oh my God, my God. Nat, is it not that our problem is we ask state governors to choose the chairman and commissioners for state electoral commission, and therefore they are just loyal to their master? Or what do we do? This is not typical to Lagos State alone. Is every state the governor's party will win every seat. Now you've had this lady, and we saw where they were thumb printing the other day. Nat, any solution to this problem?
Well, we have to find a solution to this circle of deceit. because every 4 years or either national elections, state elections, local government elections, things are getting worse every other 4 years. Because what this Tare has just said is well, it's not that it's unbelievable, but we know this is what is going on. The state electoral commissions makes sure that local government elections are won. All the chairmanship and councillorship positions are won by the party in government in each state. And shamefully, without conscience, the governor of Lagos State immediately, I think the next day, he saw in the so-called people who won the elections, those the government appointed, gave them their certificate of return, charged them to go and serve the people. So I don't know. I don't know whether the government, especially Lagos State, remember what happened with the toll gate saga, the NSAS, the people that were. He didn't even know who gave the go ahead for soldiers or police to go there. Nobody was killed. Here we are again in an election situation, and the governor is going ahead to swear in people whom he knows were not voted into office. They were anointed, and that was the end of the thing. The Oba's palace being used as polling booths. I hope it's not Akeolu's palace. What that lady Tari is saying, Ikate Oba's palace.
Yes, let's project to 2023. Is this how the presidential election will be in 2023? If we project this one, somebody will just say, "Look, I'm not following whatever the people say. I am just going to put Mr. A there." Is this what will happen in 2023?
That is why we are not going to have electronic transmission of results. Yeah, that is the implication. Because if there's electronic voting, but you cannot transmit the election result electronically, it means, as we always know, the collection officer goes ahead to announce results from his pocket or his own result, and that's what INEC will take, because INEC is also party to this thing. I'm aware that INEC does not supervise local government elections, but as long as the law says you cannot transmit the result electronically, then anybody who is on the spot produces his own result and is announced, and that's what INEC works with. So we have what we have been saying all these days. If we get to 2023, individuals are going to produce their results.
Chaos we are trying to avert, we will now get it. Okay, thank you very much. Mazi, what's your take? Is this democracy, or we're just lying to ourselves?
Well, Doc, that's when I said earlier on today that people need to understand when we talk about what we call police, and being able to understand that there is no people without a politics, and there is no politics without a people. You can have democracy if there is no politicking. And obviously, Nigerians have to understand these various principles. And that is the big challenge we have in Nigerian politics today, is the fact that there is no demarcation, there is no line dividing the ideological strands of politicking in Nigeria, most especially. Unlike some other African countries, you find that most of the politicians in some other African countries are delineated based on their ideological strands. You either be a socialist, or you are a capitalist, conservative, or I mean, when people say I'm Democrat, I'm progressive, I am wondering what do they mean by that? Because everybody that believes in principles of politicking and governance is a Democrat, and anybody that believes in the and that believes in progressive nature of governance and society is a progressive. These are not ideologies. These are people. Nigerians tend to think that when you're a progressive, progressive means ideology. Progressive doesn't mean an ideology. Progressive is a principle, you know. And that is why we have baseless politicians and baseless political platforms in Nigeria. And when you have such conditions, obviously you have polarized and polluted and corrupt electoral processes where people use political platform, even though many understand that the essence of political party is a vehicle that takes you to the destination you are looking forward to arrive. And that destination is acquiring power and being in the seat of power. And so people set political parties as a vehicle to take them to power and the seat of power. And the driven principles or driven ideological strands that makes the policy directions of the political institutions and the individual are nowhere to be found among the two parties. Today, you do not know you can't demarcate the difference between APC and PDP, ABGA, AGC, SDP. They all just have this fundamental principle of politics to gain power. That is the only thing about them that they understand. And that is why people do anything possible to get to power, manipulating the electoral system. And you can see the majority of the senators and the House of Rep people fighting to avoid electronic transfer of votes. It doesn't pass out. It doesn't go beyond the fact that they still want people to help them do ballot box carrying, ballot box multiple printing, post voting. They want these are the only means, and as such, they tell you you can't do electronic transfer in some villages because most of the electoral malpractices are done in those hinterland polling stations, in riverine area polling stations, in the desertificated polling stations where it is difficult to bring any good minded person to come and inspect the elections or the polling stations. Any reasonable and rationally minded police person or observers to come and monitor.
How do we?
So it's a very big challenge for the country as a whole.
Votes? Godson, hold on.
Yeah.
How do we protect these votes? Now, we saw exactly what happened. Tarek Taylor has shown us. So how do we move on? I mean, is this how we are going to then succumb and submit to it? Will this not lead to a revolution? Because they're just playing with fire. If you now suppress the people's wish, the way we've seen in Lagos State, then one day it will lead to revolution. People will just say, that's it, we've had enough. Now you come, you are going on guillotine. That's what happened in other places. If you ask the French people, they went on guillotine. Will it not come to a position, a day like, will that day not come in Nigeria if they continue this way?
Well, it will obviously come to a point like that in Nigeria soon. Like you see in Lagos State, the election was hugely and massively boycotted by those who should have gone out to vote. Not up to 20% of voters came out for this election. In real sense of it, the election shouldn't have been concluded because the average number of voters, the electorate that came out for the election should have been measured to the rate at the tool, Igor, that should conclude a reasonable election for people to be elected into certain offices. But because all these things have been overlooked, and people just conclude that the election has been concluded, even though it is one vote to 0, you are a chairman. One person vote for you in a local government of 120,000 or 1 million people. Then one person vote for you, others vote you win. So it is when we have corrupt systems, you can see the Oniru's Palace. I think that place should be the Oniru's Palace or one of the palaces, either the Elegushi or the Oniru or whatever, in Oniru area in the. That was kind of hijacked and used as a polling station. And then how many polling stations there? About 8 polling stations. It's a terrible situation, and it's happening everywhere like that in Nigeria.
Mark, can you please tell us what solutions do we have? It's very bad. This should not have happened. It's a shame. It's despicable. We should condemn it with every ounce of blood in us. But how do we move on? Because we cannot continue like this. People want to get power to help give security and welfare. But when you know that it was rigged for you, you will collect the local government subvention from the federal government and give it to the governor who has put you there. That's what will happen. But how do we curtail, how do we solve our problem? Mark.
Yes, sorry. The research we did during the last election, thank you, Doc. Thank you for that question. The research we did in this last local government election in Lagos is this. Number one, Lagos State has a different kind of electoral arrangement. They said candidates don't pay to INEC. Rather, they pay to Lagos State coffers. And that's a very strange thing. This is authenticated information. They say they pay to Lagos State government. Now, what that means also is because the arrangement is done by Lagos State, it is not a free and fair election. It is not democracy like we know. Lagos State, therefore, does what they want on this election. So the information we got is APC has his hold there, very strong, and every arrangement is done to favor the party. I'm giving facts, so it's not your normal electoral arrangement, and this shows to us that we still have a long way to go.
Is it constitutional?
It is not. It is because some people are holding the state. Some people have a grip on the state, and a party has a grip also on the state. So somehow you see that Nigerians are not really going about the democracy as it should be. We are creating our own kind of democracy, and very strange. So
and all the intellectuals in Lagos said they've gone to sleep. Nobody could challenge the governor.
Exactly.
Everybody just...
Yes, sir. Because they are also being held down by that power that be the political party that is in control. The political party in control of Lagos State is very strong. It will take a mammoth push to overrun them. They are so strong that
and PDP is dead, isn't it? PDP is dead in Lagos.
Yes, PDP is dead. PDP is not as strong as it should be, and
so there is no opposition.
There is no opposition, Doc. There is no opposition. So it's a long way to go, and let's see how it goes. But it's good Tariq came out with that video. She has at least said, open our eyes to what is going on. And we will all add to making that video go viral so that a lot of people can understand what is happening in Lagos State. From the grapevine, the situation in Lagos State is totally different when it comes to election. They say it's a different thing altogether. So it's so different that some political parties don't want to even have anything to do with that's what they are doing there, because there's a hard grip of the ruling party on the state. Yes, sir. So Dr. Nat has said it all. My friend Azul also have said it. We have a long way to go. And
well, I'm just thinking we should end up on a very good note because our time is up. There's this mathematics competition. Do we have that clip where a young Nigerian girl represented us in mathematics and came back with gold?
Yes, I think
because we mustn't allow our viewers to go home with all the dooms and glooms, and there are many good people in that country called Nigeria, and we want to end up on a good note that there's something to cheer up in Nigeria. Nigerians who are in Nigeria, they are very good people. It's only the government that must buckle up, or one day they will not find themselves there forever.
Yes.
But this Nigeria made us proud. Do you have the video now?
Yes. Well, it's a picture that we have. A picture.
Okay. Let's get the picture of the lady. Nat, what do you know about this young lady who could answer anything like a computer?
It's not even just answering anything, everything. She was able to answer before the question was asked.
But that is amazing. How did she do that? I don't understand.
She's a genius. She's a genius. She even knew better than the person who was asking the questions.
She could second guess the question, isn't it?
Yes. And get the answers correct.
Oh my word. I mean, I hope she will stay in Nigeria and help us build that country.
Yes. Let me say that we have so many young Nigerian girls,
intellectuals,
yes, that are extraordinarily intelligent and are very good with the maths, physics, and some of these scientific oriented subjects. And it's a gain for our country. But you see, the government is not working on that now. They are not harnessing that. They are not leveraging on that. And this is what makes great nations of the world capitalize on students that are science-oriented and use them for so many things. So we hope that they will, but before you know, you will see how it will be, like we say, brain drain. One Europe country will take, one Western country will take her away because nobody really will cater for her in Nigeria.
Mazi, were you good like this girl? Were you as good like this?
Well, Doc, I'm an average student. I'm not a genius. I'm an average student.
You're not even lying.
Well, it is obviously that I am not like the Nigerian where the ambassador of Nigeria to one organization that lied that he has a PhD and masters, whereas all was gotten from one secondary school in London. We will not lie. Our record is there. We went to school. We are not first class, upper class, or whatever, but we came out with something reasonable and original and authentic. Nigeria has brains, genius guys, genius. I mean, it's unimaginable in every field. And the fact is that we need to manage those brains and manage them well.
No, listen, please. We want to close. We have no choice. If you are to face Buhari in London, what will you tell him in 10 seconds? You have 10 seconds.
I will tell him, Your Excellency, it is right time to stand up to what is happening in Nigeria. And first of all, get rid of all those around you.
President, if you are given 10 seconds.
Well,
what will you tell him?
He should wake up and smell the coffee and time. He doesn't have time. You know, his tenure has ended with no legacy apart from insecurity.
Okay, thank you. Mark, what will you be telling Mr. President if you are given 10 seconds?
Same thing. He should wake up and face the harsh reality of what is happening in his domain. He's a president of the largest country in Africa, and it's a complex one. But he should stand up to it and stop being cocky, stop this pretentious behavior, stop this one-sided behavior, and face the reality. Thank you, Doc.
All right. On this note, I have to thank my colleagues who have been here in the last 2 hours discussing the issues of not only Nigeria, but things going on around the world, Olympics 2020, what has happened to the British government and quarantining system, and of course, President Buhari in London. I want to thank Schengen Stories, especially for anchoring this. We hope next week they will do us proud again. And it's been wonderful discussing all of these. And we hope that you Nigerians will decide eventually. You will protect your vote and you will decide. Thank you very much, Mazi Gosinazu. Thank you, Nat Iyakwo, and thank you especially Mark from Milan. Until next Wednesday, God bless you all.
Thank you.